And we're following more breaking news today. Rapper and actor DMX has died.
That's right. Of course, it was a week ago today. He suffered that heart attack, was rushed to the hospital. His family knew him as Earl Simmons, and he died at the White Plains Hospital in New York today with his family by his side. DMX began rapping in the early 90s. So many people recognize that voice. He sold a lot of albums. He eventually transitioned into an acting career. And then in 2019, DMX canceled a planned concert tour to seek treatment for addiction. He was very vocal. He never did not admit to it. He said it started at a young age, and he tried to get clean many a times. We searched through our archives and found an interview. You remember DMX? He was here for a while in Greer, where he has family. He stopped by Fox Carolina in 2011 when I interviewed him in the studio.
I'm not going to say I'm a role model, you know, but what I am is a person you can learn from. You know, I'm a person that can get you through a difficult situation, because I've been in many difficult situations. You know, and I'm a person with a good understanding of what God is capable of.
He never shied away from his problems, but hopefully people can learn from them. DMX was just 50 years old, and of course memorials happening across the country as many people remember Earl Simmons this afternoon.
Check it. Real talk from the dog is how it goes, right? We make the moves that break the rules. A fool and his money is soon parted, so we take from fools. If and when you ever fall down, get back up. Drop something, stop fronting, pick that shit back up. Stand for something or fall for everything. Wait for the right pitch or miss with every swing. In the absence of the truth, bullshit prevails. So what they did, fucked around through truth in jail. The objective is to keep you blind. So along with the handcuffs on your arms, they got shackles on your mind. Seek and you shall find, except the failure is the only crime. Fall down 8 times and get up 9. Get up, try again.
Developing out of York County, our team working all afternoon to get you the latest information on that deadly shooting from Rock Hill. We just got these photos to our newsroom of Dr. Robert and Barbara Leslie, well-known and beloved couple there in Rock Hill. York County deputies arrived at their home yesterday afternoon, found them shot to death, along with 3 other victims, including their 2 young grandchildren, just 9 and 5 years old, along with an HVAC repairman. Deputies say the family members were found in a back room of their house. That repairman was found outside, and then a second repairman was also shot outside the home. He remains in critical condition at the hospital tonight. Deputies say former NFL player Philip Adams was the shooter. The sheriff says they quickly connected him to this crime because of evidence Adams left behind at the Leslie home. Deputies later found Adams dead in his home after he shot himself. We asked deputies about any links between Adams and the Leslie family, but they told us they cannot comment on that just yet. Fox Carolina's Carrie Weimer has been on this story all day for us. She's been talking to people there in the community and, of course, pressing authorities for some answers. She joins us live now with the latest. And Carrie, what did you find out more about the Leslie family?
You know, Tori, this investigation is now more than 24 hours underway. We talked to officials here at the York County Sheriff's Office earlier today, and they said that there are so many questions that need to be answered. The main one being, why did this all happen? Disturbing 911 calls after 6 people were shot yesterday in York County paint the scene of a tragedy that's rocked the York community and left everyone asking why this happened.
It's just a very sad, tragic day. We're heartbroken.
The sheriff's office says Philip Adams, who we've confirmed to be a former NFL player for the Atlanta Falcons, went to the home of Dr. Robert Leslie around 4 p.m. yesterday, shot Leslie, his wife, 2 grandchildren ages 10 and 6, and 2 HVAC technicians that were working outside of the home.
First 2 victims, obviously, that we encountered were the 2 air conditioning techs who were outside the home in the driveway at their work vans. We found Dr. Robert Leslie and his wife Barbara and their 2 grandchildren in a room in the back of the house, all deceased with gunshot wounds.
We found out from the sheriff that only one of the technicians survived and is currently in critical condition.
We were able to develop Philip Adams as a suspect in this incident. We also learned that Mr. Adams lived close to where this incident took place, just down the road, about a quarter of a mile. At around 2:30 a.m., we confirmed that Mr. Philip Adams, that the suspect was deceased in a bedroom in the home.
The coroner told us today Adams shot himself in the head. We asked officials if Adams was a patient of Dr. Leslie's, but they could not confirm that today. However, the sheriff did say that they quickly connected Adams to the crime because of evidence he left at the Leslie home. Dr. Robert Leslie was a partner at Riverview Family Medicine and had over 25 years in his medical tenure around South and North Carolina, according to the information we found on him in an online search.
There's nothing about this right now that makes sense to any of us, and that's why we're working so hard to try to get more information.
Now, investigators say this case is still far from over. We still don't know why Adams shot the victims, but as we learn more details, we'll be sure to update you. Tori?
Well, Carrie, such a terrible day today. Thank you for that updated information. And since that news broke, many people have been speaking out about this horrific tragedy. Governor McMaster made a statement this morning on Twitter saying, quote, "Tragic and heartbreaking news from Rock Hill this morning. Please join my wife and I in lifting up the Leslie family in prayer during this difficult time." And during the press conference, the York County Sheriff said memorial donations for the Leslie family can be made to Camp Joy NC. It's actually based right here in the upstate. So we want to pass along that information to you. Donations can be made in the Leslie family's honor by sending them to Camp Joy NC, 918 South Pleasantburg Drive, Suite 106, Greenville, South Carolina, 29607. You can also go to their website. We have a link to that in the As Seen On section of our Fox Carolina News app. And we just spoke with somebody at Camp Joy who gave us permission to share some of these touching photos with you, showing Dr. Leslie there and his wife. Camp Joy NC is a Christian camp serving campers with special needs. While their offices are here in Greenville, they hold their camps in 5 different locations, including Flat Rock and Aiken. The Leslie family was closely connected with this camp. We talked with a camp leader just a bit ago to hear about the impact the family made.
Once you experience Camp Joy, you understand the impact it has. And that family is special, and because all of them were so involved, it did not surprise me at all that Camp Joy was where they wanted to see the money go.
Only on Fox, we spoke with the father of that HVAC tech who was killed.
And he worked out of Gastonia, North Carolina. As you can imagine, his colleagues devastated at his colleague who survived has a long road to recovery. Carrie Weimer stopped by his father's home today and spoke to him about the loss of his son.
The community here in Gastonia is grieving the loss of one of their own. James Lewis was one of the 5 people killed on Wednesday while on his job. He was a senior HVAC technician at GSM Services here behind me. Today I sat down with his father and talked about what kind of person James was and what kind of loss it is for their family.
He loved his work. He loved the people that he worked with. They all loved him.
Thomas Lewis told us his son James was a senior HVAC tech for GSM Services in Gastonia, and he loved what he did.
He was my best friend. There isn't anything that he wouldn't do for me. There wasn't anything that I would not do for him.
A father struggling through what he says is the worst nightmare of his life. He told me he is still reliving the events from Wednesday over and over.
It was 5:15. The owner of the company called me, and I could tell that he couldn't, by police order or whatever, just come flat out and say it.
The news no parent ever wants to hear.
He said that Robert Shook had been airlifted to the hospital, and I asked him, which hospital is James at? And his response was, he's still at the scene. And that's when I knew. At that point I lost it. I screamed, I hollered, I punched the wall.
5 people, including James Lewis, who investigators say were murdered by former NFL player Philip Adams for reasons we still have not been able to confirm. James Lewis, a single father of 3 who adored his children, now gone.
How does it end? He's just doing his job.
We visited GSM Services where James Lewis was employed. While they did not want to go on camera, they released a statement saying they were heartbroken.
I'm gonna miss him.
Lewis also told me that they are in the process of making arrangements for their son. He says they really appreciate the community's outpouring of support through their most difficult time. Reporting in Gastonia, I'm Carrie Weimer, Fox Carolina News.
In depth this morning on the life of service, Dr. Robert Leslie and his wife Barbara led, and how their family wants all of us to remember them.
In a statement that we received late yesterday, we learned that the Leslies donated their time to a special needs camp, and their young grandchildren were also focused on helping others. Fox Carolina's Lindsay Gibbs is live in Simpsonville to tell us more about the family's message to give back.
Yeah, that's right. I'm live at a blessing box just right off Georgia Road near the fire station. And here what you can do is drop off food, and then for someone in need, they've got it locked up. I'll open it up so you guys can see inside. You can drop off food and other household items for someone in need, and that way they can come and pick it up. And this is just one of the ways that the Leslie family is saying that you can give back in memorial for their family members that they lost. Now, another way that they say that you can do this is through donation to Camp Joy. Now, Dr. Leslie and his wife worked with this special needs camp for over 20 years. We wanted to learn more about the Leslies participating in the camp. We found out Robert Leslie was the camp's doctor in North Carolina, and Barbara taught Bible study. We spoke with administrators at the camp who say they're dealing with the horrible news just as you are at home.
I think we're all shocked. And but we also know the Leslie's faith, and because of that we can stand strong.
The family released a statement yesterday that says in part, quote, Barbara and Robert would want you to be good stewards of what you were given, leaving every place better than it was before you got there. Ada, Noah, Barbara, Robert, and the rest of the family would ask any memorials or gifts to be sent to Camp Joy, North Carolina, in honor of hope and promise of eternity. The mailing address for the camp is actually right here in Greenville on Spartanburg Drive. Now, you can donate to Camp Joy online. We have that link inside our Fox Carolina News app. And another way that you can do it is also bring household items to Blessing Box like this one. Coming up, I'll tell you a little bit more about what Blessing Boxes are and how they impact the community. Back to you.
Oh, I think this is so amazing that even, in their passing, we're still continuing to honor them, and they're still, giving back to the community. It's so incredible.
Yeah, it just shows how selfless their life really has been. Lindsay, we'll be checking back throughout the morning. Thank you.
All right, Kendall, see you back here in just a couple of minutes. Going in depth tonight, crews broke ground on a massive new 170-acre development that Malden leaders say will be the upstate's first new town center. Check it out. Governor McMaster was there along with other politicians and some business leaders to formally announce Bridgeway Station, which will be built right there along I-385. Wow. Some local leaders went as far as to say this project could have a similar impact on the community as BMW did when it moved to Greer back in the 90s. So we wanted to look at and find out what exactly is coming to the Malden area.
Fox Carolina's Matt Koufax looked over those details for us, talking with some local neighbors too about what they think of this project.
Yeah, guys, well, this development is absolutely massive, and work has already begun on something that officials say could, quote, put Malden on the map with everything from apartments to office space, retail, parks, plazas, and more that you're about to see. Neighbors tell me they are a little nervous, also a little excited. Governor Henry McMaster and other officials say they are all in after Thursday's groundbreaking of Bridgeway Station in Malden.
This is a great step forward as a part of Greenville County, the upstate, and the state in general.
We obtained these renderings which show what the $150 million project could look like, including one of the big ticket items talked about today, a flyover pedestrian bridge over 385. It's something the governor says is a great idea that's already been proven successful.
There was a similar idea that Mayor Joe Riley had in Charleston, where he insisted on putting a walking lane on the Ravenel Bridge.
Phase 1 of building is set to include a little bit of everything, including several acres of paths that would connect that bridge and these suburbs to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. The ideas behind all this new development, these new buildings like the Bridgeway Station Apartments where I'm standing, is to bridge the gap between downtown Greenville and the suburbs, making Malden its own destination.
This area especially seems a little bit smaller, a little more quaint. It's not really known for the big stuff like downtown Greenville is, so I think it's a big step.
Paige Farrell, out walking past the site today, says she's excited at the possibility of shopping, dining, and more close to her, but does have slight concerns.
It definitely seems like a good opportunity to, bring some people into Greenville, but there's already a lot of people in Greenville, so.
She hopes there is a plan for the surrounding infrastructure to keep up with the growth so things don't get too crowded too quickly.
I guess we'll really never know until it happens.
Now, according to one local company, Hughes Investments, this project could create about 1,000 new jobs. So that could be another positive factor for the community. Officials say that future phases of Bridgeway Station will include even more flashy items. We're talking rooftop bars, outdoor entertainment venues. They say there is a lot coming. It could exceed in the millions of square footage. In Greenville County tonight, Matt Koufax, Fox Carolina V. 10 o'clock news.
7:15, officials in Lawrence County are working to bring more people downtown with a new initiative called Friday Night Live. It gives locals a chance to shop by keeping businesses open later and offering more entertainment.
That's right. Fox Carolina's Justin Dorsey is live this morning from Lawrence with all those details. Justin, this sounds kind of exciting for people down there.
Yeah, it is a really cool thing. What they're trying to do is they're going to bring more people downtown, obviously give them a chance to shop, give them a chance to hang out. Restaurants are going to be having some special deals. You'll be able to hang out a little bit later and really kind of keep the business right here in Lawrence. So here with us this morning, we have Wade. Man, I love the shirt, Palmetto Brothers Dispensary. We're talking, this is a new business you guys got going on. Tell us all about it.
Well, my brother and I decided to open Palmetto Brothers Dispensary. It's a craft beer and wine bar here in Lawrence. We'll have 12 rotating taps of local craft beer, as well as some local wine and regional wine available for people to enjoy on the square.
Nice. And kind of talk about the initiative going down, Friday Night Live. I mean, you guys are going to be a part of that. People are going to be able to come in and get specials.
Absolutely. We're going to have beer specials whenever we do the Friday Night Lives and stuff like that, and any events that we have out here in the square. We're looking real forward to being a good integral part of what we got going on down here.
Yeah.
The city's really done a great job as far as getting people down here and getting people involved in supporting Lawrence.
Yeah, talk about what that means to, just the downtown area, keeping the dollars right here. Obviously, local businesses, local guys that are in the area.
Yeah, Wesley and I are both here from the upstate. We want to keep our money local. We like it that people are coming down here to Lawrence and keeping money in Lawrence instead of taking it to Greenville or taking it to even south into Columbia. But we want to keep everything here and keep it local and support the local community.
There you go. So if you're in the area, Friday Night Live, downtown Lawrence, you can come shop, you can come eat, have a brew right here, and lots of cool things going on. Guys, I'll send it back inside to you.
Reopen the upstate. Some pre-pandemic activities are slowly making a comeback. That includes summer day camps.
That's right. Registration is also underway in many cases. So Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle reached out to get a preview of what parents can expect. She's live now in Greenville with what she learned. Grace.
Well, summer camp signups are currently underway all across the upstate and especially here at the Kane Halter YMCA in Greenville. Now, last year, we know the pandemic made those summer camps look very different. And in some cases, at some places, they didn't even happen at all. So right now, we know that a lot of families depend on these programs for childcare. So we wanted to reach out and see what parents can expect. So we've been talking with the YMCA here to find out how they plan to keep children safe. Now, this week, spring break, it's wrapping up, but it's been a good opportunity for the staff here to practice and implement some of those techniques they're hoping to do over the summer when they get those bigger numbers of students in. We know that they won't be completely back to normal this summer, but we found out they will be bringing back specialty programs like Lego Camp, Coding Camp, and even Harry Potter Camp. And they're also bringing back some field trips, but the safety precautions, those are going to stay the same.
Planning wise, we have a lot more time to plan, unlike last year. So now we know about smaller group sizes for our huddle groups within camp. The cleaning procedures are going to remain the same. That won't change at all. Masking up won't change for our staff and for our participants.
Arranged by camp and by facility, but we have been told that across the association, registration has been filling up fast. So if you're interested in registering your child for one of these day camps, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and do so. But coming up in the next hour, we're also going to walk you through what other signups are going on locally so you can get on top of that if you want to make sure your child gets a spot this summer. Back to you.
Some exciting stuff for sure. I know parents looking forward to signing them up and having the kids entertained.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that we were like, the kids are probably looking forward to it. The parents are really looking forward to it, I think. Grace, thank you.
It's 19 in this morning's Money Watch. BMW's global sales reach all-time high in the first quarter of 2021.
And jobless claims in South Carolina didn't move much from the previous week. Jane King live in New York with the Friday Morning Business Report. Happy Friday, Jane.
Yeah, Ted Margredane, happy Friday to you too. Yes, unemployment claims in South Carolina steady for the most part last week. Still, now when you compare this to the same week a year ago, there were more than 63,000 filings. Of course, it was right when things were shutting down because of the pandemic. Nationally, jobless claims surprisingly rose last week. Well, BMW sales recorded in the first quarter an all-time high number of sales. They grew by 33% compared to the same period last year. Now, that was to be expected. Of course, 2020, probably the worst year in terms of sales since the 1990s, but reaching an all-time high certainly is commendable. Now, the biggest sellers were the SUVs. It was about 36% of all the cars sold at BMW. Gun stocks were mixed as President Biden announced several controls on guns. Typically, gun stocks rise when it looks like there will be more regulation as people stock up on firearms and ammunition. Biden is trying to limit ghost guns and make it easier for people to flag family members who should not be allowed to purchase firearms. And the S&P 500 notched another record high. We saw the tech stocks especially strong yesterday, and it does look like we'll open a little bit higher today too. Live from New York, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
For Fox's Four-Legged Friends this week, we are joined by a playful kitty with Feline Lifeline, and Joe Aguirre is here to tell us a little bit more about Finnegan.
Okay, well, Finnegan is a 6-month-old kitten. He's what we call a tripod. So Finnegan has 3 legs. His right rear leg was amputated due to injury.
Tell us how somebody could apply to adopt him, because he may be needing a special kind of home, right?
Yes, he needs someone that's willing to work with him and help him with home therapy, which is basically helping him get into stand, which he doesn't like to do. But to adopt him, you would go to Pet Finder / Feline Lifeline, or the Feline Lifeline's website, which is felinelifeline.sc.org. And if you have any questions about Finn, you can email info@felinelifelinesc.org.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. Finn has no idea that he has any kind of disability. Very sweet kitty, and we hope we find him a home. Thank you so much for being with us, guys.
Thank you.
Well, we're taking a live look over I-85 at 385, and it kind of has a summery look to it. We've got those cumulus clouds bubbling up with the heat of the day. Haven't had a whole lot in the way of shower activity, though, in the upstate just yet. There will be a chance for a few of those to develop as we move through the next couple of hours. Notice that we've got one little shower trying to get going in Stevens County. We've had some rain up in the mountains, mainly around Buncombe County, now riding north of the Asheville area toward Madison County, seeing some light rain. And that'll be the case off and on really through the about 8 to 9 o'clock time frame tonight. So about a 30% chance that your area could see rain this evening. Calms down late tonight, and then we'll see another chance for storms on Saturday. This will bring a better chance for widespread rain, and that's the kind of washout
situation between about 2 and 8 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Clearing by Sunday, though, so the second half of the weekend looks good. It is warm, a little on the humid side out there. 79 around Spartanburg, sitting in the upper 70s in Asheville as well, and 77 for Hartwell and Abbeville. Looking towards Saturday, green all over our area. That's that level 1 risk. It's a marginal risk for damaging wind, hail, and cannot rule out a tornado, but the greater tornado threat and even damaging wind threat will be to our south and west tomorrow, as the Gulf states will see a higher risk for severe weather. And that could actually limit our risk with a lot of that energy being pulled south. But we will be watching closely as we go through this evening. Notice we've got a few light showers continuing, but as we go into Saturday, we'll be watching for that potential for some showers to develop late day. So here's 11 a.m. and then we go toward 2, 3 o'clock. That's when those showers and storms will be possible, and even on into your evening, it will be a potential. About a 70% chance of showers and storms. In fact, 76 in the upstate, 67 for the mountains. So if you've got things to get accomplished, the morning is going to be your best time to do that. As we rate the day on the Sky Meter, giving it a 5, since it's kind of a half and half day. Morning won't be too bad. The afternoon will bring the better chance of rain. And it's not a huge severe weather threat, but a day to stay weather aware. And we'll keep you posted if things look a bit dangerous with any thunderstorms that develop the second half of the day. On Sunday, just a very small chance of a shower, and then it's going to completely clear out early next week. Small rain chances Wednesday and Thursday, but all in all, you can tell spring is officially here. No big cool downs heading our way.